episode, part 3 of Picking Up the Pieces, where we're speaking about misandrous. This is going to be a new word for a lot of people, misandrous, because you don't hear it a lot. Misandrous means a person who dislikes or despises or strongly prejudiced against men, versus misogynist, which is a person who dislikes or is strongly prejudiced against women. You hear misogynist a lot. You hear misogyny a lot. But you never get to hear about how women are just prejudiced. There are a lot of women that are misandrous, that are prejudiced against men, and just have a strong dislike for men, whether it's one reason or the other. It's a reality of the situation, but it's a topic that's never discussed. That's why you want to speak on this topic about misandrous, and the dislike that women can have against men, but nobody pays attention to it.
So first off, I want to give a shout out to Iconic Mind Studios, man, for just having us once again. I hope y'all done noticed like we done switched the setup, man, and just how everything is coming together with picking up the pieces. You know what I'm saying? Like before we came here a couple weeks ago, Cuz had sent us a picture of a studio, right? And then we happened to come and shout out to Dayline, you know, the camera guy, the editor, and everything. We appreciate all that you've done. But when Cuz had sent the picture of the studio, then we walked in here, and I'm like, man, dang, this really came together that quick. You remember that picture you sent?
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
it's like, man, it really came together that quick. So I hope y'all like the new ambiance, and we gonna keep on putting pieces together. But I kind of sat here for the first 2 episodes because I couldn't say misandrous.
That's a hard word.
That's a hard word to say. You know what I mean?
It almost sounds Hispanic.
For sure, you
Misandrous.
know, misandrous. Like I never heard the word before, but there's a lot of truth to it, man. You know, like there's a double-edged sword. But the whole thing about the misogynist and misandrous is that let's go to the home for a minute. You feel me? And inside of the home, you don't need either one of those people. I'm a man that got divorced after 19 years because I didn't communicate. Because I didn't want to hear her side. I didn't
know
want
you had 19.
19.
Well, I had 12 plus, what was it, 8 married, something like that.
Yeah. I had 19, bro. You feel me? And the one thing that she told me, the reason why we have a problem is because we don't communicate.
Lack of communication, me too.
Because we don't communicate. Because
Me
we
too.
do.
I didn't have that problem.
You didn't have that problem?
I did. Go ahead, though.
I had that problem.
Because I had that problem.
You feel me?
And remember, I told you my relationship of being in relationships, I missed it all because I was in the penitentiary.
For sure.
So I didn't understand what communication actually looked like.
Sure.
I would always over talk, you know, which you shut the woman down from speaking. And anybody, if they like to express themselves, if they're shut down, it's gonna boil in them. And when it comes out, it's gonna explode.
Sure.
And I'm guilty of that.
For sure. And that was the thing with my ex-wife, man. When the lady, when she used to come to me and tell me what was going on, I didn't want to hear. Because I was alpha. You feel me? Her voice didn't matter, right? But now since, you know, man, my world, we talked about my world a lot, man. I got divorced and my son got murdered in the same year, bro. So I got pushed to the hole, losing my kid, and I had to figure out life on my own after 19 years. That was a double-edged sword. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That was painful. But one thing I realized, being in the hole, being in the dark place, man, you know, and being alone, which I hate. I love
family.
I love family, but I didn't appreciate it at the time. You feel me? I was trying to get up out the shit at the time because I wasn't comfortable with self. And that's the thing about loneliness and peace, which you brought up earlier. You got to have peace within before you can go share it with anybody else. You feel me? And I never had the opportunity to really discover peace within. I just always wanted to go get it from somewhere else. But you can't get nothing from anybody else that you don't have within yourself.
Absolutely.
You can't get nothing from anybody else that you don't have within yourself.
I concur.
You feel me? So that's what the hole has done for me. That's what the lonely space has done for me. And I hate being alone. You feel me? I don't like it at all, but I feel as if it's necessary so I don't carry old traumas into new relationships.
And I think God isolates.
For sure.
I think God isolates
sure.
for the woman of wisdom.
For sure.
Wisdom is a woman in Scripture. When they speak about wisdom in Scripture, it refers to her. She this and her that. So we got to give that shout out to the women.
For sure. Shout out
that
to
they
the
are
For sure.
the wisdom.
For sure.
You know, I didn't know that you were married for 19 years. For me, that lack of communication was big, which led to. But once I began to understand, see, I needed experience of relationship. I needed experience of marriage. I didn't know what any of that consisted of, but my ex did. So this is my confusing part. And when I began to totally understand, I think she was so caught up in the toxicity of it that she didn't know how to let the other part go. And she began to, I believe, have conversations with other menderists that have been through negative situations with men.
The girlfriend club.
Right.
The girlfriend club.
And so, and then I explained to you guys earlier on how I was more of an authoritarian to my daughters. So when they have those conversations, my daughters can't jump on my side like, nah, my stepdaughters are my daughter like, nah, he's not this or he's not that, because this is what I've displayed to them. I've displayed misogynistic ways through shouting, through yelling, through reaction from the action. But nobody's hearing me because nobody hears the male. There's a movie called, what's the name? It says, Who Will Cry for the Little Boy?
Antoine Fisher.
Antoine Fisher.
Yes, sir.
Who will cry for the little boy? See, misandrists don't cry for the little boy because they're too busy looking at us and saying, it's you, it's not me. I can and you can't. So they never even see the pain of the male. They'll say, he came into this situation with all this baggage. No, I didn't. I came into this situation and you bust me upside my head and opened up that bag of shit.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
I didn't come into this shit with all my baggage of pain.
For sure.
Word up.
For sure.
You cracked me upside my head and reminded me of that shit.
Right.
Shit.
Right.
It's cool if they do it.
It's a problem when we do it.
Fuck 'em. Word up.
Goodness.
Birds of a feather. They flock together.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So what am I to do with that? So now you've painted a picture where when I do complain, like, hey, she's slapping me. She beat my ass bad. You have family members that are looking like, you're not the victim, Torrance. Boy, penitentiary, shootout with the police.
Not
You just bringing your trauma
For sure.
from your childhood
For
into
sure.
the
For
relationship.
sure.
What the hell they got to do with these knots in my head? What the hell? What they got to do with all these scratches on my back? And if the scratches are on my back, that means I was fucking trying to get away. What the hell does that have to do with the vicious punches from calling me out my name? That shit hurt. Now I gotta act like that shit don't hurt. And now most absurdly, I have to fight back that way, which brings down my level of integrity and character of who I am. Now I gotta fight you back like that. And when I fight you back like that, nobody hears you say it to me. It's almost like the NBA. You'll foul somebody real hard, and then the ref gives you a tech, but they didn't even see you just kick him in the knee. How I'm gonna get a tech? You missed her just slap me and call me a bitch ass nigga or say I'm acting like a bitch?
It's not the person that threw the first blow. It's
Yeah.
the one that
And
reacts.
here it is, I'm
It's
paying-
the one that reacts.
Yeah, I'm setting boundaries. They going past that.
Yeah.
How you missing the misandrist but calling out the misogyny?
These conversations gonna bring things to the front forte, like right there, front and center, in front of people. Because I guarantee you, some viewers gonna view this. Some ain't gonna like it. Some gonna be like,
This is real.
some gonna
This
be
is
like,
real.
jump.
Don't judge me because I've been to the penitentiary. Don't judge me because I shot somebody.
For sure.
Don't judge me because I was an abused child.
For sure.
Don't ignore the fact that he or she See, that's what we need to start saying. Because yes, men have been abusing women forever. Men are misogynists, not all men. But women have become misandrist. They are just as abusive as men nowadays. The only difference is it's ignored. It's ignored. Because we've been to the penitentiary. Because we've been in the streets. Because we know how to fight.
Because you talk to be so strong,
Yeah.
so tough, and I
Yeah.
have no feelings.
I'm
in
supposed
the
to be a
inside.
man's man.
Yeah, you ain't gotta have no.
Be a man.
feelings.
That's what they used to say to me.
Toughen up.
My
you're a
step
man,
family used to
man.
be like,
Toughen
be a
up.
man, say it.
Sure.
Be a man. What the hell does
Sure.
what you want me to do have anything to do with being a man?
Sure.
This is your trigger word to me.
Sure.
You're trying to trigger me. Don't trigger me. Understand me. Feel me. Love me. Nurture me. Support me. Give me peace so I can give that in return. You know what I mean? If you give me violence, I'll give you war. If you give me love, I'll get us to the shore for sure. The shore for sure.
You just match.
SHORE to SURE.
Oh, but you just match the energy that's given to you.
Yes. And then I'm viewed as the demon by everyone because I've been quiet. See, the male will be quiet. The male is not allowed to go say, she hurt my feelings with what she's saying. The male is not allowed to
Shit,
go.
me, I don't see why not.
They can. You can do
Speak my
anything.
piece.
It's what's
I'll
expected.
judge me all you want.
Nah, we
human.
believe it. We say it. We gonna
Oh,
be
we
man's
human.
men.
Oh.
No, we gonna be masculine men. We're not.
I
'Cause
got sad days.
Nah, I could have pressed charges one time, and I didn't because I said, nah, I ain't gonna press charges on her. She maced me for fucking nothing. The worst pain I've ever felt in my fucking life. But because I was filming her, I didn't even know what I was doing. She was leaving again. She's leaving out her own home, and I'm filming her, and she went crazy.
What's
She
her
thought
sign?
I'm Leo,
Oh, that's me.
and I'm a Taurus.
And my
I'm a
ex-wife,
Taurus. That's
my
war.
ex-wife was a Taurus.
That's war. That's
my
war.
ex-wife was a Taurus. I'm a Leo.
But like you said, through communication, all things are possible, right? But it takes the yin and the yang.
She
It
maced
takes-
you.
Maced me because I was filming her. She was leaving again. I'm like, here she go leaving again. I keep trying to break my neck to get her to stay home. This is our home.
Jesus fucking Christ.
This is our home. Don't leave about the
Wow.
stupid shit.
You was fighting for it to stay.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm fighting like, don't leave.
Normally
And
they
she
fight
leaving
for you
again
to stay.
because I think I didn't speak. Somebody said I didn't speak to him. So here she's leaving again. And I'm like, this is some bullshit. So I seen her pull out some mace. I was like, oh, I wish you would mace me. I wish you motherfucking would.
Gave it to you, huh?
I seen it in her face. I tried to run down on her to grab it real quick.
Wow.
That shit was in my eyes. I had her
Wow,
because
yeah.
the mace don't hit instant. That was the first time I've ever been maced, penitentiary or the streets. It don't hit instant, but I felt it begin to sting, and I had her. I'm like, you know what, such and such, just go ahead and leave. I was blinded now. I'm falling up concrete steps and shit. All I heard her do was speed. Like she just shot me.
Right.
I'm your fucking husband.
Right.
What are you doing?
Right.
It's the pain that's been inflicted that I've been used to, though. Knew that I would not press charges. Knew that I would not beat her up. Knew that. Once they know that they can do it, that never stops. That's the misandrous part of it. That's the dislike from a woman to a male because you've allowed her to do this before, she'll continue to do it.
Who filed for divorce in y'all situation?
The 49%. Remember I said 70, high 70 percentile to 80 percentile are women divorces men. Within that percentage, 49% of that is African American women. 1, 2, 3 of us are sitting here divorced. I'm going to ask me that again.
Which one?
Who filed for divorce?
Yeah.
I just answered you.
My ex-wife felt
The 49%. The women are filing for divorce against us. I didn't want to get a divorce. I was leaving Ohio, though. I said, come with me. Leave with me. And she had agreed, too. She said, you take the lead. I'm going to follow you, baby. I said, for real? Because we were in a situation that had nothing to do with us. We had to step up about my stepdaughter. Remember I told you I had to move to Atlanta for a minute. While we're in Atlanta, I see the vision. I can see it. Like, oh, we can do it. We can start off with $500,000. follow my game plan. We went walking and running every morning. I promised to God, my ex-wife said, I'm going to follow your lead. I'm going to follow your lead. I said, for real? This is new for me. This is new for me. Because I know she's scared. She has a huge family. You know, they're a tight-knit family. I'm more of a solo brother, but married.
Yeah.
I've always been kind of by myself. Abuse. Had to leave my mother. Come back to Cincinnati. Didn't like it. Ran away. Living by myself at 15. So on and so forth. So I'm more of a soloist as opposed to her. She's a family person. But I'm your husband and I'm your family. Let follow my lead. She said she was going to go and she didn't come. So when she came back to Cincinnati, I'm like, no, I'm going. I got to go. I need ambition. We need some money.
So I heard a statement a long time ago. I ain't heard it a lot recently, but unequally yoked. You know what I'm saying?
How do you find that out after 19 years? Somebody said, you said that to me. You was like, y'all grew apart.
Yeah.
I don't think we grew apart.
Yeah.
I think we got to a point where it was time to go to another level of our marriage. Life is about levels. And I always leveled up. Penitentiary. I came up out that bitch. I stopped fighting. Like, oh, it's time for me to go home. My daughter and my son talking to me now. Came home. I don't really like this shit. Everybody confidential informants. And I'm going to end up killing somebody. Level up. Left the drug game. You can't just sit around. My wife during that time, she got on me too. Like, hey, okay, you left the game. Thank you, but you ain't finna sit around here. I'm like, God damn. I just stopped. Can I get a transfer point? You know what I mean? But she hurt me with that. Made me feel like a bum because I've always taken care of me. I went to school. I leveled up. Graduated from school, leveled up again. Career field opportunity, leveled up. Leveled up in the marriage. Hey, it's time to stop all this cussing and clocking. Hey, let's set some boundaries. No cussing. Let's not get into it about the children. Let's cut this off. Boundaries. But for me, if I set the boundaries, it's controlling. Remember? You know what I mean? If the male sets the boundaries, it's controlling. If a woman wants to take charge, it's a preference. You know what I mean? But the male, I'm a natural leader. I've always led the people. I've always led in the penitentiary. I led in the drug game. I led in college. I led at my job. Let me lead you. Because everything I say that I'm going to do. But we got to stop this violence physically, and we have to stop this violence verbally.
The verbal abuse more than anything.
It is.
Do you agree?
It's actually worse.
For sure.
It is worse.
Those words stick to you. You feel me? Those bruises, they heal up. But them words,
that shouting and that cussing and that clocking. And I used to have red top table talks with my two stepdaughters.
That's nice.
My two stepdaughters and my biological daughter and my ex-wife. They used to pull me to the table and they would voice their opinions. And I would cry like, I'm sorry. I apologize for being this way. We did it twice. I confessed with my mouth. You admit to yourself, to another human being, and to God the exact natures of your wrongs. That's part of 12-Step Big Book. Remember 12-Step Big Book? So I did that. But they would go back into the system. Like, hey, I'm trying to pull us out. I know I possibly pulled us into this with my past, with what I come from, my aggressive upbringing, penitentiary, but let's come out of this. But they didn't know how to come out of it because anytime me and my ex got into it, all they would hear was from her. They wouldn't hear from me. She's pretty. She knows how to be a sweetheart, knows how to be a sweetheart.
Manipulating.
You know what I mean? But if something doesn't go her way, she loses her temper. And she loses her temper through her words. And she becomes physically violent. One time she slapped the shit out of me so hard while I was eating. We were sitting there just eating. I was eating. We had just came in, dude. I was eating. I felt the energy. Now I know about vibration. I felt her vibration. And I didn't even want to look up at her. My ex had me kind of scared of her. My ex a big, thick motherfucker. She bigger than me. She know how to motherfucking fight. Word up. So I was scared, and I looked up. Yeah, she got that Leo in her. I looked up, and I seen, I was like, I'm like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, you want some? Some of the food. She looked at me like, I was like, oh shit, here we go. My stepdaughter sitting right in there, which is her biological daughter, sitting in the living room. I got up to walk, she got up too. She slapped fire out of me, just bow. Just slapped shit out of me for nothing. But my stepdaughter Brooke, she was like, Mama! I was like, Brooke, did you see that shit? I told you. She was like, Mama, why you hit him? And she slapped my phone out of my hand and stumped my phone.
Oh.
I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? We just came in.
Yeah.
My point being is, if I fucking just hauled off and slapped her,
You'll be in jail. Easy.
that's misandrist.
For sure.
That is, she never said it. She never said. Now she'll
was
say
a bully.
No, definitely.
once she knew,
Once she didn't get
once
her way.
because let me be real. Early in our relationship, she used to jump on me, and one time she was jumping on me, and I slapped her to stop her because I seen it in her eyes. She thought I was scared. But when I slapped her back, you know what she said? You a woman beater. You a woman beater. The victim. Oh, you a victim. Oh, you a victim. Look,
I'm so happy you could get this out, man.
from that
That's
though,
a relief, man.
from that,
I'm
hey,
so
look,
happy
from that
you
though,
got that,
I
man.
was marked. I was marked as you put your hands on my child before. I've been calling y'all, telling y'all this woman is going crazy. How y'all missing my pain but can feel hers? Who will cry for the little boy though? Who will cry for the brother that was trying to get out the house to go to work and the woman shot and killed him? She kept saying it to him. The mother is there taking up for her daughter. The woman is walking around slapping on this man, punching on him, everything. And she has a gun. My ex has a gun now. She has a gun. She done already beat me up. I got marks on my back that'll be there forever. She done already did this and that, and the third. I'm not pointing my finger at her. All I'm stating is misandrist versus misogynist, and who will cry for the little boy. Why did you all ignore the violence? And had I gave 10% of that back, I'd have had to kill 3 or 4 of them. Because
You know
father
what's
comes into play, cousins come into play, so on and so forth. Why didn't anybody cry when the brother got killed? The woman killed him on YouTube, on Facebook Live. She banged him.
Yeah.
Banged him. The baby's
what,
there and
They
everything.
don't scream out and say, what did he do or what did you do to provoke it?
I did nothing for the woman to put her hands on me.
I'm
Just
telling
as
you,
a woman, as a man, a woman can't do anything for the man to put his hands on her. Any hoe ass nigga that's running around and you putting your hands on your woman, you a hoe ass nigga.
For sure.
And you doing it because you know that you can do it. You're doing it because you know that she's weaker physically. I'll reverse that. Any woman that's running around putting their hands on the male and he's not putting his hands back on her, you a hoe ass woman. You a hoe ass woman for doing that. And the only reason you keep doing it is because he ain't knocked your goofy off. And you know that he won't. Misandrist. Let's get him to that word.
For sure.
The violence that is being played against men is at an all-time high right now. And it's being ignored. And they're yet and still, they're running back and they're saying they're promoting on TV, social media, and everywhere that they can, misogyny. They're promoting he's a narcissist. They're promoting he's a gaslighter. They're promoting he's controlling. They have totally flipped it to say he's behaving as if he's the victim until we strike back. Hence, the definition of misandrist versus misogynist. Why isn't the word misandrist just as popular as misogynist? Yet we know how to say that, but we're struggling to say misandrist.
Ain't heard it. I ain't never heard it in my life.
Therein lies the inequality of what's taking place in our society right now.
The man's feelings don't matter. The man has to be. I mean, it starts as a little boy. I mean, you know what I mean? Toughen up. Cuz said something just a minute ago. He gets sad. He gets sad sometimes. You know what I mean? Men do have emotion. Men are emotional.
But we're not supposed to be
We're
natural
not
emotional
supposed to
thinkers.
be emotional.
We're supposed to be logical thinkers.
Yeah, but we got feelings.
We do
No
have
matter
feelings.
what.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And a lot of things about men, our egos. get
Ego and
bruised.
pride. Ego and
Ego
pride.
and pride gets bruised sometimes. You know what I mean?
And your ego will keep you silent.
For sure.
Your ego will
That's
keep
a
you
good
silent.
part. And you bottle it all up until one day you.
Because if you talk about it, I talked about it.
Yeah.
I talked about it to my ex's father. I talked about it to we're in a place of work before. They
So you
laughed
brought it
at
to
me.
the red table. That's
They
what I'm
laughed
saying.
at me.
Yeah.
I brought it to the red table
Yeah.
because I was guilty. I was guilty of being an authoritarian father. I didn't understand how to be a loving, laughing, jovial father because of my upbringing in the penitentiary. All of my years where I was supposed to learn about compassion, I was in the joint. And so I learned about soldier shit versus compassionate shit. But once I began to understand, marriage is not a sprint. Marriage is a fucking marathon. But somehow, some way, within our community, the women have said, we run this shit. And we don't need you all. Miss Sanders, we don't need no man. I don't need a man. I don't need a man for nothing. I don't even need a man for sex. I don't need a man for support. I don't need no man to lead me. Miss Sanders, you take you and your background and you go somewhere. Take your pain and all that you've been through. They say we're coming with baggage. The baggage. I checked my baggage when I got there. You went and found my baggage.
I'm happy. You know, like I said, I've had sad days, but I'm happy that you're able to express to the people the difference from misandrous and misogynist, and at the same time relieve what you had on your chest. Because with that being said, I could have went in and said a few things, but it's for you because it was your turn to. You know how we just have something on our mind, you can just come let it out. And whether a zillion people hear it or one person heard it, we heard it, it's off. You know what I'm saying? I say that to some of my clients. It's always good to talk to people. You get what I'm saying? Not like take your home into other people's world, but go talk to a stranger. Like I get paid for people to talk to me and tell me their situations. It's
share, and subscribe.
It's such a humbling situation, a humbling thing because you're sharing your side to the world, and you're gonna go home and sleep better tonight.
You got it off.
You know what I'm saying? Not just getting off his chest. Our mind tends to go all over the place, and we overthink.
But I don't want to make this just about me.
No,
generalize this across the board.
No. There's no way in the world it could just be about you. We just had a good three. So hell no. I'm just saying for me to experience and see it because I got some shit to say, but I sat back because I'm seeing you in me,
picking up the pieces.
And this where the logic part come in at. Picture of both of our hands up. And don't smack me no more. You can see you can beat me up, or I ain't gonna smack you no more. Or we ain't gonna spit on each other, or I ain't gonna blow no booger. Let's just get logic about communicating a conversation, whether it don't go your way or my way. Let's put it on the table and see what we can come up with. That's the piece, y'all.
Picking up the pieces.
I promise
These are the conversations that we're having.
That's the piece here.
We need to figure out how to pick up these pieces when it comes to you all hearing the men. I know that men, we've been tough on you all, ladies. But two wrongs do not make it right. Once you see that you come across a God-fearing man, once you see that you come across a man that is willing to listen and not just hear you, we have to figure out a way to keep misogynists from building these strong prejudice against women. But most importantly, you guys, it's time for you all to hear what a misandrist is as well. Because as I said before, without left, there's no right. Without up, there's no down. Without good, there's no evil, and there's no way for us to be around. Hear us say who will cry for the little boy when it comes to misandrists and the situations that take place and the prejudice against men. This is picking up the pieces. Once we pick up this piece in home and community, we'll be able to perform the puzzle much better, but we'll be able to hold this fist up for you to understand we're going to find a way to pick up these pieces. This is part 3 to misandrist
like
versus
subscribe.
misogynist. Word.